Hello. Hello, everyone. I really had a good time. We're talking Globetrotters. So get a drink, relax, enjoy the show. Kristin, Glushon here. We trigger the mixed reality agency. We create AR and VR and MR experiences for brands. And I am joined by Sunni from the Globetrotters. So I'll let you introduce yourself, but I also would love if you could just share a little bit about the incredible legacy that is the Globetrotters and how that story continues to inform your messaging and your position.
Okay, so feedback, so we'll do that. I'm Sunni Hickman, so I'm the Vice President of Marketing for the Harlem Globetrotters. I have probably one of the dopest jobs ever. So I head up all of our brand marketing strategy for the Harlem Globetrotters. And well, first let me do this. I can't see those that are watching virtually, but those in the room you heard of the Harlem Globetrotters. So if you can't see live, that's unanimous, right? So everyone's heard of the Globetrotters. The Globetrotters have been bringing this incredible basketball experience 126 countries and territories on 6 continents since 1926. That's crazy, right? So they're the innovators of so many aspects of the game of basketball, right, that you see today. So the crossover, the dunk, some of that flash and flare, right, that energy that you see in the game, the Globetrotters were the originators to popularize that. It led to the integration of the NBA because there was a time right before African American players could play in the league. The Globetrotters helped lead to bringing that diversity into that space. And they continue to bring this exciting exhibition, right, family basketball experience to families around the world.
Yeah, I think it's an incredible story and an incredible legacy. And you hear too that, because many of us have experienced it, growing up. And it was a business that was really built on in-person experiences. And thankfully, we're all here at South by right now, getting to enjoy each other's company. But I think if COVID, it would be remiss not to share that obviously created a challenge for a business that is in stadium, in arenas. Can you share a little bit about how that helped to accelerate how you are looking to reinvent the brand with the younger generation, or the cultural generation? Because obviously it really had an impact, but hopefully one that helped to accelerate the reinvention.
Yeah, it's like all of us, right? When the pandemic happened, our business, everything kind of came to a screeching halt. Same thing with the Globetrotters. So touring was our business, that was it. So that came to a screeching halt, like everyone saw, right? And that, the other games, right? Sporting events had to stop when we all had to start working from home. And it sort of put us in a place like that water faucet was turned off. Now there was no revenue, right? There was no means, right, in order to keep the business the same. So we really used that as an opportunity to sort of step back and say, what is the trajectory, right, of the Globetrotters? What should we do next? So see, I grew up on the Globetrotters, right? So I see, right, Scooby-Doo. So I knew the Globetrotters was Scooby-Doo, and the Island, Wide World of Sports, and there were Globetrotters lunch boxes. The Globetrotters were everywhere, right? Even before there was social, the Globetrotters were universal. So in sort of taking that step back during the pandemic, it's how do we now diversify, right, the Globetrotters brand and business, and one, do 2 things. One, get back to sort of driving that relevance for that next generation of fans, so that the Globetrotters will be 100 years old, right, in 2026, which is crazy. So we have 50 million collaborations that we want to come out of all the partners that are here. But in doing that, it's how do we look at ways that we're going to engage in you in meaningful ways? How do we bring some swag, right, and some of that personality forward within the Globetrotters brand, and elevating our players, right? Influencers, celebrities, people want to have relationships, right, with those that they look up to and aspire to be. Sort of on and off the court if you love sports, whoever that is, you get to know them. So we wanted to put the names and the faces inside of the jerseys. We have some incredible men and women, right, on that court, and we want people to know them. So that's really been our focus. How do we start to do that? She's dope. Fatima, TNT Lister, her crossover and her short range jump shot will just blow your mind. Amazing.
We have an amazing roster right now. So let's talk about the change agent too, because anytime you make changes, it requires some buy-in internally, but also and externally fans. Can you kind of walk me through your process and then also kind of how what the shifts were? Like how have you shifted externally with your fans, either through different channels or media sites?
So kind of just kind of a quick, I'll step forward and step back. So I started working with the Globetrotters right in the middle of the pandemic. So obviously, I was turned out, but that's when I really started with the organization. And at that time, because we just talked about like the last year, right? We were saying like 2020, 21, how difficult, like the lack of unity, right, in our country, right, like just reached an all-time high. Like you haven't seen unity so blatantly in your face, or the lack thereof, right, ever. And the Globetrotters, like our why, like our purpose, like the Globetrotters, like exist. Those players, like they want to bring world-class basketball showmanship that just unites people and brings joy. Like that's what they want to do. They want to make that imprint, right? That mark of you every day. So in thinking about like our trajectory, right, we wanted to say like how do we go beyond just touring and moving to other spaces? So going from a touring-based company to a branded entertainment company that also tours. And that is meeting and reaching consumers like the people, right? You say consumers and like sometimes marketers, they're like, what is a consumer? Right? Like we want to reach people, right? In the places where they are. So if it is in YouTube and content, you want to be there. If it's your fresh fit or your kicks of the day, like, and you want to see the Globetrotters, right, in that style, and that's you see yourself in that, you want to be there too. If it's in gaming, right, and it's like that experience, you want to be able to do what the Globetrotters do in a special way, we want to be there too. So what we wanted to do is kind of create all those spaces and those partnerships. And when you've been doing something the same way for a long time, like internally as an organization, change is difficult. So in getting some of that buy-in, one, it's the way that we work and communicate with purpose. There's consistency, right, with like the lines, like, and then there's grace, right? Just giving grace. You know what? We're not going to get everything right the first time, and being quick-witted and agile and adaptive. And like we can pivot, it's just like you do a crossover, right? You just make a move, then you go by and keep on, right? I know, yeah, you're gonna be sick of the basketball now. I just can't help myself. I just gotta keep it going. But it's sort of like that mindset. But it's like, how do you get on to the next play? Like if you are a coach, my husband's a coach, my son plays, my daughter plays soccer, she gets sideways ball management, so that's sports all around. But your coach will always say, you blew that button, you missed the layup, but you got to get on to the next play. And that's how we think about it, right, with change. So continue to evolve, like give yourself grace, let's learn, and let's be curious, and let's be aggressive with what we can do. And it's not hard, it's not easy, but we believe in it, and it's working.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just test and learn right now. And you shared a little bit too about how like your media mix has shifted to just reaching, like, look at all the faces here, different generations, different segments in your audience. Can you share too what you're doing from like a digital perspective, experiential? Because I think when I look at like my boys and they, are digital first generation, how are you having to kind of pivot in, the channels that you're also using?
Sure. So when we were kind of so laser focused like within the touring space like a few years ago, there was just a reliance, and I think it was it became complacency, right? And we just kind of going with the flow, and we were just focused on so many traditional channels, but knowing like in digital spaces and more our organic and right the storytellers, giving the why. It's right, not just about like coming to a game and like getting a ticket to a game, but who are you going to see at the game? What are you going to experience in that? So we really started talking about our players, right? We talk about like Jamani Hotshot Swanson and how crazy his handles are. He's a little person who is like, when I say he will eat your lunch right on the basketball court. So like working with our players and like pushing their content out and sort of highlighting that. We talked about TNT. And so it's starting to utilize our digital channels. We started getting more active in TikTok, right? How we're using music, how we're like using the players and talking about like the things that they're excited about, the energy of the experience. So creating that FOMO, right? Like, oh my God, that just happened in that just happened in Atlanta. Oh, the Globetrotters are coming to Austin in April? Oh, I'm here for that. Right, so how we're starting to create opportunities for that. And like our TikTok channel, like we've seen triple digit growth just in our organic content. And now we're able to use that content from a paid advertising standpoint, right, through TikTok Spark ads, like another means, because we're starting to get down a little bit.
Yeah, I was checking out their channel, and like not only do you have the players who are showing all the trick shots from the day of the life of the Globetrotter, Bucket I was following him now. He's great. Yeah, I'm just replying all the players because they're so much fun. But also like all the things to generate content from your fans. And you know, that lives on, that promotes the message too. How are you measuring some of this? Like when we're trying things, you know, we talk a lot about measuring as marketers, and even being in the XR space, sometimes it's a little hard to measure the efficacy of things when you're testing. But what are you seeing from like a return on investment, especially in some of these different channels?
Yeah, so we like officially stepped out and relaunched last June or July. I don't know if y'all know, it's like everything still runs together. Like, I don't know. Right. So it was like last summer, right? So we relaunched the Globetrotters brand, and we actually went out and did a mini tour in the summer. Time of year the Globetrotters typically don't tour, but in that we did a lot of things. But before we went out, we sort of did a brand equity study, right, just to sort of establish some baselines. And then now we have some of the wave two of that, right, with posts to see like, all right, what is taking hold, right? What are some of the things that's been, right, resonating in terms of we shifted our target audience, right? It became very more narrowly focused because what we found was the Globetrotters, we were only speaking to one audience. We were only speaking to Caucasian families who make 100,000 plus in household income. Like that was it. So we wanted to sort of open up, right? We have the most ethnically diverse, right, generation that's coming of age. So we wanted to start connecting with them. So we wanted to start talking, right, to more African American families and kids, their basketball. So we set the measurements of like, well, what were we doing on the before we launched, and like now how we're making progress. We've seen about 10%, right, in terms of growth, and the only way that we measure that through those who have actually come to change. Right, where we've seen growth in that race that you start looking at, right, the demographic there, but also just with an interest, right? So we found like that there's just affinities, like those basketball like lovers. So we're looking at our digital metrics, right, to see how that's doing. We did an intercept study, right, because we reimagined like the actual games. So we actually go to both kind of games, get like the characters. Listen, I know this is not a question, but I gotta tell you, it is a whole vibe. If you go to like a Harlem Globetrotters game, it's like everything that you love, the energy, right, of an NBA game, the terms of they are pushing up the ball up and down the court, the dunks and the finish. Our dunk contest, everybody makes it first time, but then it's just out of this world. And then our DJs, like the whole crowd is like rocking in the stands, and then we have new characters that bring like the jokes and comic relief to it. It's like literally a whole experience, and you see that with some of the UGC that in our digital channels. So like all of that together, we wanted to see how effective that is. So we actually like measures. We asked fans, what do you like? What do you like? What do you don't like? So we have that feedback that we're also applying as we're going forward.
That's great. I mean, you can really get lost. Some of it, the one where he flips under the hoop. I mean, that's amazing too, from the top of the rim. I mean, yeah, it's incredible. And you shared something with me, and I think it's really resonating because NBA is great. They're triggered. But, you know, when they do the All-Star game and they do the slam dunk contest, like these are the dunks that everyone really wants to see. So I think it's pretty incredible. Something else that's incredible, I know you see a lot of growth, and we've heard a lot from, you know, some of the other brands that are up here. It's about the power of partnerships. And we've had a number of really strategic partnerships, two of which I'd love for you to share a little bit, one with Liz and one with Snoop Dogg. Can you share those experiences with the audience?
Absolutely. Well, so the collaboration with Snoop Dogg, and I'll sort of preface this and say, like, I'm going to take the words of our president, Keith Dawkins, is the Globetrotters are open for business, right? We want to partner and collaborate with other brands, with other creatives, with other firms that like really have this affinity to like to bring this fun, like basketball driven like experience to people in like a cool, meaningful way. Right? So we're completely open with how we do that in content and AR and VR and like all of it. Like we want to start to put our toes in all of that. But some of the partnerships that we started, right, when we're even on tour. We weren't even touring last summer yet. But we sort of laid out like our vision, right, of this creating this 360 branded entertainment company that unites families, brings people together, celebrate ball, and we wanted great partners to do that and we got support. So our team went and spoke with Liz. So we ended up launching a partnership with them on February 28th, 3 days after my birthday. February 28th, yeah, my birthday's the 25th. Okay, you put on your calendar for next year. We launched a partnership with Liz, and it's in stores and retail stores now and online. And the name of the campaign is They Gave Us Game. So we have some of the greatest ballers, right? Craig Neal, who's like one of our legends, right? One of our trailblazers. So he's it's the Globetrotters, the Negro League baseball, the Negro League baseball, and then the Black Five. So all of these brands, like Liz wants to sort of set that stage and provide opportunities to tell stories through products, right, in their retail stores. So that collaboration was, and Snoop loves Trotters. Snoop loves Globetrotters. So we did a collaboration with Snoop around creating some additional content for our spring game tour. And Snoop was like one of the Globetrotters trainers. So it was training them to get ready for the tour. So we produced a lot of content. We actually launched our first ever Globetrotters NFT in collaboration with Snoop. It was the first of its kind short form sitcom that was released, as well as some other content that we put out into NFT form. And then we were able to like partner with Snoop and create more content for the tour. The awesome thing, like about that partnership, we did like a remix to Snoop Georgia Brown, like on the spot. So we were like filming, and he was like, "I'm about to do something. I got something for you." And he actually went back and just wrote like new verses, like and performed it like here you go. So now we have our Snoop Trotter, Snoop Georgia Brown version that we're using in our campaign, and like the song's so iconic. But to get Snoop, we have to talk verses and talk about the players, like. He talks about, he talks about mini players. He talks about Thunder. He talks about TNT. He talks about Wind. So he's naming them in the song. And so
it's a special edition because it stays true to like the harmony of the band, put another spin on it. That's a reflection of what the brand wants to do in the market too. Switching gears for just a second because who caught the Women in Marketing panel yesterday? Those are like incredible. Sunni was on it. And, if those that weren't able to catch it, could maybe learn a little bit from what you thought was like some of the biggest takeaways or some of the key messaging that you want to put out there, because I think it's always inspiring to hear from really strong female leaders like yourself. Kind of any big takeaways from that experience, or some of the work you shared, or some of what you wanted to impart as well?
What's fascinating about, right, that, what was like the energy, right? And like, confidence, right, energy, positivity, like there was such a whole vibe, right, with everyone in that panel. And I think something like positivity is infectious, right? And like it just kind of goes a long way, right? It's really about attitude and sort of what you're going to do forward. And I felt that like within the group. Authenticity, right? Like showing up with like your whole best self, like no matter what. And I think about that for me both personally, I think about that professionally, I think about that with like the Globetrotters, right? And sort of, your brand. So everyone in that panel like talked about being an unapologetically you. Like kind of no matter, what that is, and like being okay with it. Like I got blue hair, right? You know why? Because I like the little pop of blue, because that just like makes me happy. And I think that's one of the things that I think is important for like all of us, where you can kind of get so rigid, right, and kind of, or want to assimilate, right, or sort of like kind of pull back like who you truly are, like whatever that is, like just do it and be it. And that's one of the things I love about our Globetrotters players, because they are so like true to themselves, and they just want to transfer right back, like that moment, because you never know what imprint that you're making, right, on people. And I think that's one of the things that I found really special about what everyone was talking about, like the space and time that we're in. I'm in a place where I'm working with an iconic brand that this is one of those things that's legacy building. They can transfer it and can transform and shape culture. That's powerful. And I think that's what everyone on that panel was talking about yesterday. How you can do that, and how as women in business, as women in marketing are just dope ass people, right? You know, in the spaces that we're in can help to do that.
Yeah, and let's get into that a little bit too, because you know, you're right. It's a company that is very mission driven, giving back to the community. From your perspective too, we've heard a lot about purpose driven marketing. Are there any like what you would say kind of keys to effectiveness from your point of view as a brand marketer, but also maybe what you've heard or seen from some of the other panelists?
That's a good question. Keys to effectiveness. You know, when I think about that, I think one of the best ways to be effective is one is being purposeful, right? And sort of know what it is that you're going after. I also think about ensuring that you're staying sort of true to the mission, right? And sort of true to who you are. Because you can only fake it for so long, right? I know we use that phrase fake it till you make it. You can't actually make it. So I think it's sort of truly effectively being true to yourself. And then expecting the failures. All of the most successful people, right? The most successful brands, the most successful work, it didn't work the first time. So truly knowing that going out into it, there's just sort of a process to it. And then knowing that that's just where it comes from. And those difficult conversations as a team, sort of leaning into that, because that's where breakthrough happens. When you start to have some of that tension, right? That's where the powerful ideas start to come from.
So we have time for a couple questions. Questions in front. There we go. Hey, I'm thinking about my fantasy team for next year. Is there anyone on the generals that's sort of
Well, you know what? Actually, yes. There are some ballers on the Globetrotters. There's a player that I was thinking about, his name is Garcia. What he does, in terms of draining from the 3-point line and his consistency. But
other questions? They're always far away.
I love how you're talking about the women's panel yesterday. And, you know, sometimes the topic is taboo, but when I think about sports, right, a highly male-dominated industry, or tech, a highly male-dominated industry, what advice would you give women in business to refrain from being discouraged when they're trying to push these masculine?
That's an excellent question. You have a voice, so use it. And I think that goes back to that confidence, right? Sort of in yourself, know your worth and know you're as good as believe you are. If that door cracks open, kick that damn thing open. No, I'm serious. Kick that damn thing open. And it's equally, and we were just having a conversation about this yesterday, where women, we sometimes think, and I've done this, I've totally done this. It's I'm just going to do the work. I do the work, they'll see my performance, and then they're going to see me. If I just keep my head down and do my work. But you're on the other side of that, building those relationships, building that network, connecting and being collaborators. We're actually wired for that. That's why women, that's the world, we're coming. This is our time. Because we are wired as collaborators, we're wired to be the leaders of that upcoming generation. And companies that are smart, like leaders today, that are smart, they're getting some super awesome women, or we're taking those spaces. So I think in sports, someone asked, were we talking about women in terms of coaching and the gym world? I think it was a conversation, maybe it wasn't you, but when might that happen? I think the clock is ticking. So the voice is yours. Just use it.
Thank you very much. The clock is ticking. So
and I gotta go.
Thank you very much.